Praying that your children grow up to be what you want them to be is a curse and a binding spell over your children. It's very deleterious to their own personal divine mission, their own divine purpose, reason for being. You don't own those kids. You don't own their bodies. You don't own their consciousness. You don't own them. You don't own their soul. To say to your child, I brought you into this world so I could take you out. Slavery mentality, babe. You're trying to have dominion over those children. No. To even pray that your children grow to be all these amazing things just so that way they could take care of you when you're older. That's selfish, babe. Again, you don't own those kids. Just because you portal them through don't mean that you have dominion, power over them, or anything of that sort. Those are still God's children. Those are still the Creator's children. You may have created a body, but you didn't create a consciousness. There's a reason why many children today are choosing to, there's a reason why many people today, because everybody's a child of somebody, there's a reason why many people today are separating themselves from their families, including their parents. And that's just simply because they are recognizing they have a choice and they realize that, oh, there's no alignment here. Y'all don't like each other. They don't like their families. The reason why people are like, I gotta get away. I gotta get away. This is so toxic. Yeah, babe. When it comes to parenting in general, there's a whole revamp that has to happen with the parental consciousness and concept and behavior and expectation. Even when it comes down to family, I tell a lot of my clients and my students, baby, those are just titles and roles. And to be honest with you, everybody could get fired and everybody's position is TBD. Okay, everybody's position is unsecure because at any moment in time, snip, 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 snip. No 2-week notice, no nothing, no severance pay. Here, babe, clock out for me and leave your badge on the table with the security guard. I'm not even finished. Wait a minute. And I mean insecure, whatever. Anyway, if you are somebody who is questioning whether or not you're able or allowed to walk away from your family, run. Run. You get to leave, babe. You ain't got to stay. It's all right. And you ain't got to leave with like a tough heart. You ain't got to leave with, disdain or any type of agitation or any type of malice or you don't got to leave and make it a dramatic series. Like, it don't need to be that. It don't got to be soul food. Honestly, babe, you could just go and be like, this ain't for me, babe. And just clock out for yourself, Shit, change your name and everything if you want to. You really don't got to stay attached like that. Excuse me. It ain't necessary, bitch. You really do get to go. And when it comes to parents, man, if y'all having kids and you can't take care of them kids financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and you having babies, that's abuse. That's abuse. That's abuse. That's abuse. That's abuse. That's an act of violence. That's an act of violence. That's an act of violence. My friend mentioned this on Threads, and I said, girl, I had to FaceTime her. I said, girl, that's crazy that you said that. She goes, I just said the truth. Like, that's what it is. And now I can't escape that. And I'm like, oh, that's an act of violence. To have babies, knowing you can't take care of them, knowing you don't have the means to support them completely, even giving them like a chance, knowing that you're hurting and you're having them as solutions, babe, that's an act of violence. That's an act of violence. It's disrespectful. It's hurtful. And especially when you do it intentionally too. And that's something you got to talk to yourself about. Like, you got to check that. Now, if you're already in the predicament and you're watching this and you're like, bitch, you talking about me, bitch, like, I got, like, what the fuck? Like, damn, bitch, I'm already healing so much. Like, fuck, I just felt like you attacked me. No, babe, you attacked yourself already by doing what you did. And in addition, hugs to you, because I know that must suck to be in your position, to understand that truth. But we all going through healing, and we're gonna go through healing of different sorts. And so you gotta also heal through that, probably, maybe, if you want to. If it's even healing, or maybe it's just accepting, whatever you want to call it, because we be using the word heal. Bitch, you ain't broken. You don't need to be fixed. You don't, none of that. Like, you cool. I'm just saying, though, like, depending on the journey that you're choosing for yourself, if you're choosing one of honesty and of truth, real talk, don't be surprised if your kids get older and they not talking to you. Or don't be surprised when your children grow up and then they start asking you certain questions and be like, so why did you have us knowing you couldn't take care of us? You're like, why would you do that? And then, you can't say that you didn't hear something before to prep the answer, because you're going to have that real answer for your children. Because the kids nowadays, too, like, they intuitive boots. And in the society that we live in, like, they really keeping their spiritual magical powers, girl, okay? So they going to grow up and just kind of already know and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out, right now with parents. Like, I just feel like a lot of the children, or a lot of people just in general, I guess you could say, are coming to terms with a lot of truths, and a lot of things is being unearthed. I feel like the cosmos is really just digging up everything out the motherfucking graveyard. And so we're all just having to face facts, and we're all just having to look at everything, quite honestly, just as the way it is. And it's like, ooh, oh, shit. And so when it all just boils down to it, it's like, folks is loving on folks. I feel that for sure. They're like, I know you're despicable, but I'm not despicable, so I'm not going to mirror your activities. So it's okay. I'm going to still treat you how I treat people and how I treat myself, because I know that, I've thought of myself as despicable. But, at the end of the day, though, it doesn't mean that I won't be honest and still tell you, like, oh, I'm not going to call you no names, but, yeah, I've done a lot of healing surrounding my parental wounds, and my father wound is one I was dealing with recently, and I was like, my daddy always lived as a bachelor, and I live as a bachelor today, and I'm like, what was he, like 21 when they had me? Mama was 19. I'm like, I understand why my daddy chose what my daddy chose. It, like, duh. Duh. Like, he was having fun. He was having fun, and and I get it. I get it. My life is a blast. So I get it. I really get it. I'm like, yeah. I get it, And I also, no shade, but I think about my mom too, and I was like, my mom's always been hella smart, hella intuitive, hella tapped in and stuff too. So, my mama do her healing and stuff too. So shout out to my mama. But like, I know she's like, I look back and I'm like, my grandmother told, my mama back then, like, why would you date my son and then have his baby? You American girls are stupid. Like, that's what my grandmama said. And I was like, my grandmother wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. And she was like, I don't understand, you American girl. But, that's a Griffin woman for you. So it is what it is. But, I'm sure but yeah, because he was, who he was before, Poop. You knew before. So it's just like, at this point, it's like, damn, we all having to take accountability for basically everything, I feel like, especially because everybody talking a piece and put it on the internet too. So you in your house having to just like randomly scroll across, your phone and come across a video where somebody's saying, damn, the parents were out here really just having babies on babies on babies on babies on babies, knowing that they needed to not at all.